Welcome back to Conspiracy. I'm Sammy,
And I'm Taylor.
and we're here to unpack and analyze the world's best conspiracy theories, so buckle up and let's jump in. Welcome back to the podcast, people!
It's been a while.
It has.
It's been a long while.
I don't know if it'll be that way when we post, but you guys, we took like a while break.
We haven't recorded since prior to Thanksgiving, and we're in the new year.
Yeah, we just had a lot going on.
It was the last time we recorded was the night before Halloween.
Teaching's been exhausting.
It's been a lot.
The kids are hellions.
I'm not loving teaching right now. It's been better.
I can't say I'm super pumped about it either.
Yeah, but you guys, today's my birthday. We're recording on my birthday. This is my treat. I'm very excited.
And guess who's the one presenting? Moi. So
I have a new surprise that you guys can't see, but I have, what is it called?
An Owala water bottle.
I call it an Alawalawa, but here's some ASMR. I just love the sound of that.
Jeez.
It makes a nice clicky sound. Best water bottle purchase ever. I've wanted one of these for years. They should sponsor us.
Oh, yeah.
Alawalawa, I can't say your name right.
Owala water bottle.
But if you want to send me a free water bottle, I will hype you up on whatever social media page you want me to hype you up on. It's amazing. For you that can't see it, it's pink with a purple lid and a tan like little flip-up piece and a green button. It's beautiful. But maybe when we post this podcast 2-3 years from now, I'll post a picture of my Alawalawa on my Instagram or on the podcast Instagram
We're
page.
just going to have like 100 podcasts recorded and it'll be like, all right, I guess now's the time to release.
we can just quit 100 podcasts, have the 100th episode, celebrate, and then just be like, we're fucking done. We'll go back, edit in ads that we get sponsorships for. There we go. Fucking ride the wave. That's like 2 years worth of podcasts if we did one a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Granted, we're only at about 12 right now. 13. So we got a long way to go.
All right. So today's topic is something that I didn't really know a lot about, yet it happened rather recently in 2019.
Oh.
I know. So today we're going to be discussing Jeffrey Epstein's death.
Holy fuck, man. This is everywhere. And it's everywhere right now.
I didn't know this was really a thing.
Oh my God.
And then
Are
I was
you
like,
not?
this is really good.
Are you not on political side TikTok?
I don't think so.
Because sadly,
I try to avoid that.
I hate political side TikTok, but I like the Epstein case. I watched like the Netflix documentary. It's fucking intense. This man is a sick fuck.
I did not know that. And
Yeah.
then I did this research and he made me want to hurl.
Sick fucking bastard. And like, if you haven't seen the Netflix thing, I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. It was quite upsetting. There were numerous times where I had to step away and stop watching. But it's very insightful as to how fucking perverted people can be in this world.
Oh my God, I know.
And like, makes you just want to vomit.
Yeah.
But his death, there are lots of conspiracies
around that. That's what we're going to jump into.
So I'm excited about that, but let's get into it.
So it was originally reported that he committed suicide, but after digging through lots of sources, it seems like there may be more to the story than the police and the higher-ups want us to know.
I would agree.
Yeah. So we're going to get into some background, and my background takes up quite a bit. So
Well, let's go.
there's a lot to kind of unpack.
Okay.
To start, Jeffrey Epstein was an American financier, which is just someone who invests in businesses expecting a profitable return.
Okay.
So he was also a convicted sex offender.
I didn't know he was actually convicted of that.
Oh my God, yes.
I didn't know he worked in finance, though.
Yeah, like multiple different ways.
Like, I knew he was high up. I've seen him in the news, but I guess I didn't know, like, what exactly he did for a job.
Yeah.
So, I know that. Interesting.
Yeah, works in finance, was also a convicted sex offender. Like, when you look him up, those are the top 2 things. Finance guy, sex offender.
Okay, and not that you would know, but in your research, did you find, was he convicted after all of this shit?
We'll get into it.
Okay, because I didn't know, like, was he a sex offender 20 years back, or?
We'll get into it.
Okay.
So Epstein was born in New York City on January 20th, 1953.
Oh, thank God it's not my birthday.
I know, right? He began his professional life as a teacher at Dalton School.
Shut up.
Yep, which was a private college prep school for kids in the New York area.
So he had access to all the children.
Technically, yeah, but
Gross.
he didn't start those behaviors at that time.
That we know of.
Correct.
Victims, step forward.
Uh,
I would like to hear your stories. I don't want to hear them because they're probably really upsetting.
But I mean, there was lots and lots of people that stepped forward. So there's
Oh God,
not
everywhere.
necessarily from Dalton School, but
Yeah. Just a question, because I'm on this side of TikTok. Do you get the Epstein list in here anywhere? Does it come up?
I don't even know what the Epstein list is.
Oh my God. That's all it's on TikTok right now. Cause like 2 weeks ago, this list, it's called the manifestation or the flight log of all these celebrities that traveled to his island. And like he had it categorized. I don't think these people knew that he was documenting their coming there. And like he had like coming as like just a friend. So like it wasn't a sexual thing. They were just coming to visit. But then he also had a category where it was like coming to fuck kids. And then there was a third category and I don't remember what it was, but like he had it labeled and it's so detailed.
Oh, lovely.
The
Yeah,
one
I'm sure people are praying their name's not on that list.
the Sammy,
There's probably some seriously high up
so
people.
many people, like politicians, celebrities,
Yeah.
you name it, they've been there. But the one that made me want to vomit, and I'll let you get back to your background, I promise. But I'm gonna get his name wrong. I don't remember. Who is the man that super intelligent guy, and throughout his life he became handicapped?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking,
He's in here.
one of the biggest visitors. What? Do you have background on him?
For sexual conquests?
Well, are you gonna get into him?
I just mentioned his name that he's...
Okay. From what was found or what I saw on TikTok, apparently his favorite thing to do when he would visit the island would watch midgets. That's what he called them. Dwarfs, little people, whatever you want to say. Would watch them undress and like wrestle.
That's just creepy.
I'm like, what is sexual about that? I guess me as a I'm like, I don't know what's sexual about that, but apparently was very into the small little people and would watch them undress and be weird. And
Girls, guys, we don't know.
I don't think they were very specific. I don't think it much mattered.
Okay, just little
But-
people turned him on.
Into the little people. Maybe it's because he was handicapped and bigger people might have intimidated him. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I do not know.
It's
That's creepy.
a weird. When he was on that flight log, I was like, what the fuck?
Because all of a sudden I was reading through the list and I'm like, Stephen Hawking, like,
yeah.
who on earth? Like,
Mhm.
why?
But
But
that
yeah.
wouldn't make sense because I'm like, why would he be friends with him? Like, how
like,
would they even connect?
Does that part even work for him?
I don't. I think.
Do
By
you think
the
he could get
time-
it up?
I think by the time he got to like the final stages of his life, I don't think so. I can't imagine.
Can you imagine having sex with Stephen Hawking?
Mm.
Wow, that is nice. I mean, like what the heck?
We shouldn't make fun of him. That's so sad.
Robot sex.
I kind of doubt it. I mean, he was by the very end. I think he was just having a hard time moving. Period.
Yeah.
Anything. But good lord, I saw that name.
Especially that thing.
Sammy. Oh my god.
Wink, wink.
I'm gonna have so much editing.
I thought that can stay in. I thought that was good.
Wink, wink.
All right, so we're back to it. So he was a teacher at Dalton School, which is a private college prep school. So like you're dealing with pretty smart kids,
Okay.
smart families.
Do you know? Was it boys and girls? Just boys? Just
Boys and
girls?
girls.
Okay.
So after moving on from Dalton School, Epstein entered the finance sector. So
Okay.
he started working for this company called Bear Stearns, which was an American investment bank.
Okay.
And he started that in 1976.
Okay.
he
I guess
worked-
I didn't realize how old this man was. He
Yeah.
must have been really freaking
Yeah,
old.
I mean, he came out of, I'm assuming it was college in order to become a teacher. He
Yeah.
probably had to get like his bachelor's.
Okay.
But yeah, he started that in 1976.
Okay.
He worked for the company for several years, slowly moving up the ranks,
Okay.
working with some of the bank's wealthiest clients. So
Okay.
this was kind of his start of brushing elbows with
The
some
right
pretty
people.
high up people.
Mm-hmm.
In 1981, which was 5 years after beginning at that company, he was asked to leave due to being found guilty of a Reg D violation.
Reg D.
Reg D. So what that is they deemed it selling securities to other people. So it's kind of like selling information.
Oh.
So he was selling information, I'm assuming under the table to people about these wealthy clients. And he was asked to leave because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Eventually, he decided to open up his own firm, which he called International Assets Group Incorporated, which was later in that 1981 when he was asked to leave from his first company.
Okay.
Within his business, he worked with some of the world's most wealthy and powerful people. Some of them included Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, George Stephanopoulos, Donald Trump, Katie Couric, Woody Allen, Naomi Campbell, Stephen Hawking, Harvey Weinstein, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Jackson, just to name a few.
Okay, well, I find it very interesting that some of the other people on that list were already accused of being child predators.
Yep. So,
Michael Jackson.
yeah. Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein, but I don't know. Was Weinstein ever known as a child predator? I thought
I think he was just a predator.
I think he just any victim he could get.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
I don't know if he was after the young ones, but he was definitely a predator. So it was within this high society that there was quite a bit of shady shit happening.
Okay.
There were many women and children who were pimped out and abused sexually in many ways by many people within this group.
Ew.
I know. it's just downright sad.
Is this before or after he got this island?
This was before.
Oh, good God.
So
Okay.
he was kind of rising up the ranks at this point. So he
'Kay.
wasn't really kind of wealthy in his own right at this
Yeah.
point. He was still kind of becoming that.
'Kay.
So it wasn't until 2005 that Epstein began being charged for his offenses. So 2005, that was 1981 when he opened that. So
Oh
we
my
had
God.
20 years of building. I don't know if Epstein Island opened in that time frame. I'm
Okay.
thinking yes.
Okay.
I didn't really look at like a specific time frame of when
Yeah.
Epstein Island started.
Gotcha.
So it was 2005 that Epstein was starting to get charged for his offenses when a parent reported to the police that Epstein sexually abused their 14-year-old daughter. Yeah.
Oh.
This one reported offense opened up the floodgate for others to come forward, and by the end of the federal investigation, there was 36 girls identified, some as young as 14, who were supposedly sexually abused by Epstein.
Oh my God.
36. 36 underage girls.
This was convicted in 2005?
Convicted in 2005, he started this high up in 1981.
So for
it's like a
25 years.
25-year range. But mind you, most of these girls were like 14, so I mean, it's like a 14-year age point.
My thing is, how did he even like recruit these girls?
We'll get into that.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
I can't imagine, and I'm at 26. I cannot imagine being in my 14-year-old body and
being abused.
And being abused to that extent by an adult male. I can't even fathom. And mind you, we work in the school system where we see it happen all the time, but it's just like, it's so sickening. These men deserve to just
have their balls chopped off.
Fucking
We
rot.
should castrate them.
I hope that they go to prison and just horrible things.
Advantage of. But most sexual abusers of children are totally ripped to shreds.
Good. They should be. That is terrible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Epstein did end up pleading guilty and was convicted by a Florida state court for both procuring a child for prostitution and soliciting a prostitute.
Well, at least he can own that, I guess.
I know, right? But
God,
the sad thing is he was able to get a good plea deal where he was only convicted of those 2 crimes as opposed to many more that could have been presented. There was 36 girls there, and he only got charged for like 4 counts.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So he ended up serving almost 13 months. 13 months in custody. However, he was granted extensive work release, so most of the time he wasn't even in prison. He basically like left, went to work, came back, slept in jail.
That makes no sense to me. He didn't even get a month per girl. And mind you, he should have gotten 10 years per girl. You look at some of these people that are nobodies.
Or like they get like a one charge of like marijuana and they're in there for like 8 years.
What the fuck is that? I'm sorry, you see some of these people that like are in a relationship and they're like 18 and the other one is 17, but the other one just turned 18. Yep. And then like they
their
break
parents
up.
are like, "Oh, I hate you," and then
and then the boyfriend goes to jail because he just turned 18. Mind you, they've been dating for 4 years,
and they've been sleeping together.
And then he goes to jail, and mind you, it's upwards of 10 years sometimes. Unreal. 13 months. That is sickening.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's just sick.
And then he was granted work release, so now he's still out there being a predator because I'm sorry, he's on work release. Is somebody bodyguarding him to make sure he's not coming on to other people?
That's just so wrong.
Many of his prostitution convictions included other high-ranking people in society, some of the names being Ghislaine Maxwell, who was his former girlfriend.
Okay, that name sounds familiar.
Now, there's lots of controversy of like, oh, she wasn't a girlfriend, yet she was a girlfriend, so I don't necessarily know. She, I think, wanted to be the girlfriend and thought that would be like the next step.
Okay.
But I don't think he ever accepted her as his girlfriend.
Did you ever see a picture of her? Was she the one, because I don't remember the name from the documentary, this might be that girl, short, like, brown, black hair.
I don't know.
What's her name? I'm going to Google her quick.
Ghislaine.
Yeah, that's her. She's all over the documentary.
Okay. So this was supposedly his former girlfriend.
So they weren't married?
No.
I watched this documentary like 2 years ago when it came out. I thought they were married.
I don't know if Epstein ever married anybody, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, I thought that was his wife.
No, like they were...
Wrong impression.
She deemed themselves boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't think he ever deemed themselves boyfriend, girlfriend.
Well, probably because she wasn't 14.
She was like a normal age. I'd say she was at least 18.
Yeah, but I'm saying he probably didn't want to be dating her because she wasn't 14.
I think the reason he kept her on is because she helped lure the young girls into Epstein's grasp.
That is so fucking...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So she would also participate in some of the sexual abuse of other women.
Okay.
Donald Trump was another person who was regularly mentioned as being a part of the many sexual abuse allegations.
Okay.
There's also many sexual offense charges against the Epstein estate, which is more commonly known as Epstein Island.
Okay, I've
Uh,
heard a lot about Epstein. Granted, anytime it pops up, I try just to avoid it because it's just upsetting.
yeah, there's just a lot.
Ugh, but good lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Epstein Island is found in the U.S. Virgin Islands, so it is still in the U.S.
Okay.
And this is where the girls would be lured, and they'd basically kind of become sex slaves for whatever men or women were there and wanted to use their bodies for their own pleasure.
So, did it talk about where they found these girls? Because my understanding, this island, no one else is on it. Like, it's Epstein's
You would
island.
have to fly into it.
Yeah.
So from the sounds of like what I've researched, it
Yeah.
sounds like this Ghislaine girl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name yet. I'll just call her Maxwell.
Yeah.
So Maxwell would go into like the nearby port or whatever city she was in that week and be like, hey, like,
yeah.
there's this super cool island. You can come, you can tan, you can hang out, we'll drink cocktails, and then they fly them there, and then they're like, holy fuck, we're here for sex slaves.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they wouldn't necessarily know what they were getting into, but she would lure them to the island as like, oh, this is a great vacation, and then they'd get there and be like, oh, great, now I'm trapped.
And if you said no, they probably would just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know if there's any blood on their hands in terms of deaths. I never saw any deaths. I just saw a lot of sexual abuse.
My thing is, okay, what happens when you get to this island and like you refuse? I would think they would kill you because you don't want to talk.
You'd get raped.
I know, but still,
it would just be forcibly raped.
I would think they would be so like fearful that someone would talk. Like, I'm surprised that there probably is blood on their hands and we just would never know. But if there's not blood on their hands, I'm kind of shocked.
I mean, it's an island. They could probably just dump them in the water.
That's the thing. Like, no one would ever be the wiser. That is so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know. After his conviction in 2008, he actually laid low for a while, yet he popped up on the police radar again in 2019.
Okay, question, quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get convicted for the 2005 thing in 2008? That trial took 3 years.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I know.
You're telling me
I'm sorry, with 36 girls coming forward, I understand the time frame.
Yeah.
But still, it's a long time for him to then serve 13 months.
You look at so many of these people that, like, for example, I'm trying to think of the guy that drove his car through the Christmas parade.
Oh, yeah, that was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I can't remember. Darrell Brooks, I think. Because I'm watching it on YouTube. I fall asleep to it. It's kind of calming because the judge just rips him a new one. But that's not the point. He literally, it happened like that Christmas. Literally that following September, he was already convicted, and like it didn't even take a full year. So like to take 3 years.
I think in smaller courts and you aren't dealing with such personas that it doesn't matter. That's Wisconsin court.
I would be so pissed though if I was one of those girls and I'm like, we're in year 3. Let's get going.
For your life, or not life, but
yeah,
being sexually abused every time you go out. Is he out there?
Yeah.
He popped up back on police radar in 2019 when he was being federally charged for the sex trafficking of minors in both Florida and New York.
Good God.
He was arrested by the FBI NYPD Crimes Against Children Task Force at the Teterboro Airport in New Jersey.
Do we not learn from our mistakes?
I know.
I would be sitting there going, shit, I got off easy. Next time it's going to probably be worse.
Like, I would just drop off the face of the earth. Go live on Epstein Island.
Never come back.
Yeah.
Fucking live in the middle of nowhere.
And my thing's like, there's a lot of girls that would willingly have sex with you. So why do you feel you need to have sex with a 14-year-old girl?
Like, go on Tinder. Literally.
Get a sex doll that's a young-looking one. I don't...
Swipe right continuously. Someone will say yes.
Yeah. Especially being who he is. He's a celebrity person, celebrity figure. He's high class.
And girls would be all over the money.
I know.
And my thing is, what is 4 more years till they're legal? Not that it makes it better.
I think it might be like the
thrill?
The thrill of like getting caught.
That's sick.
But then he gets caught. So I don't understand I don't get it.
Because I'm thinking, I'm not like, if he would have just waited 4 more years on these girls,
he would have no issue.
He probably, he might get like rape allegations.
Yeah,
because
like he forcibly, but
like the rape, but
at least they're 18.
At least they're of age. Like, really? Not that I'm condoning this, but like, really?
4 years.
4 fucking years.
But, I mean,
dumbass.
The development of a 14-year-old versus the development of an 18-year-old are very, very different.
Good God.
Usually.
It's just sick.
I mean, in today's society, 14-year-olds look like 20-year-olds, so.
It's just, I have no words.
I know. Okay, so he was arrested in that New Jersey airport.
Okay.
After which, he was sent to the Metropolitan Correctional Center jail in New York City.
Okay.
Prior to the arrest, a small group of FBI agents broke into his Manhattan townhouse with a search warrant and found hundreds and perhaps thousands of sexually suggestive photographs of fully or partially nude females.
Oh my
Some of the
God.
photos were confirmed to be underage girls. There were also many compact discs that were labeled with the names of girls and a brief description of what would be found on the disc found within a locked safe.
Oh my God.
Also included in the safe was $70,000 in cash, a fraudulent Austrian passport, and 48 diamonds. He requested to get a $100 million bail, which was denied on July 18th due to him being a danger to the public and a serious flight risk to avoid prosecution.
Where was that for the first trial? Danger to the public.
Well,
Like, come on.
that's why he served 13 months.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they refused to post him bail, and he even recommended, like, post it at 100 million.
The thing is, they already know he can cover it.
Correct.
And if he doesn't, he's going to get his big friends to cover it.
Yep. So they said, nope, we're not letting you post bail. You will be stuck. And we
Good.
will. Yes.
He's probably like, can I at least get the day where I can go and work? I'll come back at night, I promise.
I know. While awaiting sentencing, Epstein underwent some supposed beatings.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope they kick the shit out of this man.
On July 23rd, 2019, Epstein was found semi-conscious and injured with marks around his neck on the floor of his jail cell at 1:30 a.m.
Good.
His cellmate at the time was a former New York City police officer, Nicholas, I'm going to butcher this last name, Tartaglione? Nicholas Tartaglione,
Okay.
who was awaiting trial for 4 counts of murder.
Yeah, just lay into this man.
He did deny having anything to do with Epstein's condition or knowing how he got that way.
Yeah, but like some of these police are freaking jacked.
I know.
Like, I hope this was the buffest police officer you've ever
It's like,
seen, and he just let Epstein have it because you sick fucking bastard.
Uh-huh. And I'm sorry, they know who's coming into their cell and what they are in there for.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, at that point, he had
If
already
you're-
had a trial for this.
If you're raping young kids, yeah, screw you.
Oh,
You
I
deserve to
hope.
rot.
I love that half conscious. Good. I hope that you were just conscious enough to feel all the pain that you were in.
Oh, it gets better.
Good.
Um,
This sounds horrible. We are going to be hurt and people are going to be like, these people love torture.
horrible.
I promise we don't, but for this sick fucking bastard, let him rot.
So the jail came out and the staff suspect that it was actually an attempted suicide.
Okay.
There were multiple sources that stated while awaiting trial, Epstein attempted to hang himself. Others feel that it was a staged event that tried to cover up an unsuccessful murder attempt.
I can tell you though that if I was on trial for these things, and like, don't tell me like if I did those things and I knew I did those things and I was gonna get convicted, I'd fucking try to kill myself. In this case, I don't think that was the case. I
Yeah.
think someone tried to do it for him. But if I knew I was gonna be in prison the rest of my life,
Well, there's probably a huge ass hit out on him,
Yeah,
man. You
I'd
know
be
how much
like,
money his head would be worth?
oh my god, so much, so much.
Yeah,
I just keep distracting you.
that's okay.
I'm very enthralled by this.
After multiple of these events happened, so this was not the only occurrence of this. There was multiple times where he was found like semi-conscious in his cell
Good.
with marks all over the place.
My thing is, okay, someone's trying to kill him. Or
Mhm.
let's just play he is trying to commit suicide. Do you think the officer in this cell was like, I'm not letting you die, and just pulls him down every time?
I don't know.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, either the officer beat the shit out of this man, or he really did try to kill himself, and the officer's like, you don't get to die. You don't get this today.
Yeah,
It's one or the other.
but at that point, freaking let him hang himself.
Like,
Get
why?
him off our tax pay.
Yeah. Well, let's not put him in a prison where let him just get rid of him.
Yep,
He's horrible.
we don't need him.
He doesn't deserve to breathe.
So after multiple of those events happened, Epstein was actually moved to a special housing unit where a guard would look into the cell every 30 minutes to kind of protect his safety.
Why are we protecting this
You know,
piece
'cause
of shit?
he's a high-class inmate.
Oh my god.
These procedures, though, were not followed on the night he was found dead.
Oh, coincidence.
I know. So instead, the 2 guards who were in charge of checking fell asleep during their shifts.
Oh,
I
did they
know.
get fired? Can they go to jail?
I don't know.
I think they should go to jail.
I don't think they should. I say freaking let him die.
I mean, I agree. Let him die, but I'm also like,
So they fell asleep during their shift, and something more suspicious is that the 2 cameras in front of Epstein's cell also malfunctioned that night as well.
okay, this is literally, he was so murdered. Like, it's so obvious. The fact that we're going to put out there and be like, suicide. Really? Okay, then I'd like to watch it on camera, please.
Oh, but you can't. Those cameras were mysteriously broken that night.
Then I'd like the account from the person watching him do it. I want the story from mouth.
Yeah. The medical examiner deemed Epstein's death a suicide by hanging.
Well, I hope that he snapped his spine and hung there alive for a while before he slowly suffocated.
The autopsy stated that they think Epstein threw himself violently off the top cell bunk, so this explained the other injuries he suffered besides the strangulation mark.
I'm not buying this. Are there pictures of his autopsy? I would like pictures. I want to see the rope burn around
Bruises
the
around his
neck.
neck.
I want to see this because I don't buy it. I think he was probably brutally, or the thing is, someone probably just went in, gave him a quick little bit of poison, and he just died quick. I wanted it to be a gruesome, painful death.
All right.
I
well,
think that's only fair.
I think strangulation would be a pretty shitty way to go.
Yeah, but if it was quick, I mean, some people, if he did hang himself, it can be really, really quick or it can be long.
I hope it was long
I hope it was long and painful.
for how much pain he inflicted on everybody in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Epstein's neck experienced multiple broken bones. The
Okay.
most telling being the hyoid bone, which in most suicide hanging cases, that's usually the bone that tends to break.
My thing is, if someone did go in and murder him, they probably knew everything they had to do to make it look like a hanging.
Well, that bone is also really common in strangulation victims.
Okay, so like if someone went in and fucking wrung his neck.
Strangled the shit out of him, yeah, that's
Okay.
a common bone to break. So they kind of go hand in hand. Epstein's brother claimed the body, so he claimed the body, and then they buried him in an unmarked grave next to their parents.
Yeah.
I'm assuming unmarked grave, that way people wouldn't go shit on his gravestone, because I'm sorry, there's a lot of people that he's got a vendetta against. After Epstein's death later in 2019, it was released that not only was he partaking in these horrific sexually abusive activities in the United States, but France also opened up an investigation against Epstein for the rape and sexual assault of minors under and over the age of 15.
You've got to be kidding me.
Unfortunately, Epstein died before that investigation could be concluded.
Coincidence.
So that's the end of the background. Now we're going to jump into some theories.
Okay.
And there's really not a ton of theories that I have. I think I've got 3.
Okay.
So the first theory we're going to look at is that Epstein really did hang himself. He was facing a crap load of jail time, and
Yeah.
he may have thought that killing himself would be a better end to life than the rest of his life in captivity.
Did you find in your research how much time he would have possibly spent?
It would have been like his whole life.
I mean,
It would have been life sentences.
part of me is like, I wish he was still around to rot and get the shit kicked out of him every
Because
day.
he would have been abused beyond belief.
Like, put him in Gen Pop and let them just go to
But
town.
the thing is, he wouldn't have been in Gen Pop.
I know. That's the sad part.
This second theory is something that I did not even know was a thing.
Okay.
So the second theory is that Epstein is still very much alive.
No, don't give me that, because if that's the case, I'm going to be upset.
So the theory is that he's very alive and he's living in his estate at Zorro Ranch in New Mexico.
So, like, stateside.
Yes.
Like, didn't
Like,
fly
didn't
off.
flee. Like, he's in the United States in New Mexico at his property called Zorro Ranch.
Okay, my only thing with that is, like, I feel like we've had to investigate and look into that.
Well, if they think he's dead and, we have a body.
If I was him and I was still alive, I'd be going to whatever fucking country I
I'd be
could
trying
hide
to
away.
get as far away from here as possible. But
Siberia.
Then again, he's wanted in France. He's wanted in, like, the UK. He's wanted in tons of places.
Where do you go at that point? If you were wanted all these places, like, where is left? Antarctica?
Australia.
God, I don't think the Aussies want him.
The spiders would kill him. So this theory arose when people examined the image of Epstein being transported to the hospital. So that after he was supposedly, like, hung in his cell and the
Okay.
dead body was being transported,
Yeah.
it's suspected that a body double was actually transported to the hospital instead of the real Epstein. Many of the analyzed photographs of the body that left the Correctional Institute, there are a few characteristics that just don't match up with the photos of Epstein.
Okay.
The most telling is that his ear was, like, super different.
Okay.
So, like, the ear in the picture and the pictures of Epstein ear,
Yeah.
they just don't match.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up later.
Some people claim that, like, the differences were due to Epstein aging. So, like, the picture they used to
Okay.
compare, like, that was a younger photo of him, so
Okay.
his ear aged and that's why it looked the way it did.
Okay.
So there was that, and then they also said that some of the injuries he sustained while in jail could have affected his physical appearance and made the ear look a little bit different than what it usually did.
Well, it's like an MMA fighter. Like, if you get hit, you get, like, cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that could be realistic, but even then, other things could point to it's not him.
Mm-hmm. So they think a body double was actually taken out and buried, and then he was secretly transported to the Zorro Ranch, and he's hanging out there. But I'm like, I don't really understand why that would be done.
But my other thing is, like, okay, so let's say he's alive and he's at is it Zorro?
Zorro.
Zorro Ranch. What the fuck kind of life are you living?
I know.
You're never gonna leave again. Unless you had a plastic surgeon come into your house and change your entire life.
Which, I mean, I guess is very possible, but still, the likelihood of that being enough,
Yeah.
I just don't know. You'd have to really fuck up your face in order to be able to go, because most people know what this dude looks like.
I would just not choose to live in the U.S. If I was
I'd get the hell out of Dodge.
Put me on the most remote island that has probably never heard of me or has ever spoke my language. Put me in the middle of fucking Alaska in the woods. I will build a house or something. Like, I would not stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping for the world's sake that one's not true.
I know.
Because that would just be upsetting.
This last one is the one that I personally believe.
Because, okay, you've presented that he hung himself.
Yep.
You presented that he's alive and living on Zorro Ranch.
Correct.
Okay, third theory.
This last theory is that Epstein was murdered to prevent him from testifying against powerful people.
100%. I could see it.
This is what I think.
I don't believe the second one. I don't mentally and morally want to believe it.
Yeah.
And I feel like those people that, like, do these horrible things, they're too cowardly to kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would agree. I think someone probably murdered him.
Yeah.
But let's hear what you got to say.
So Epstein was really not against selling people out if it was to save his own hide.
Okay.
So I think that this would have been a funded job by some of the people in the high society circle who did not want to get in trouble for all the crimes that they committed with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Epstein would have had quite a bit of dirt on well-known people that would have been useful to the U.S. government. So, like, he could have sold out a lot of, these high-up politicians.
Yeah.
I mean, especially politicians, because he really frenzied them.
Oh my God, the amount of politicians on that list
is insane.
I mean, and I'm not on the podcast. I don't like to. I will
go
not
politics. Yeah.
I won't go Democrat, Republican. I will not state the side I'm on. But, like, on that list, it's Democrats and Republicans.
I know.
It's everywhere.
There's a bunch.
It's both sides. So, like, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, only Democrats did it or only Republicans, because they're both on there and there's a lot of all of them.
Yeah.
So, like, it's sick and disgusting.
So what I think, or what these conspiracy theories people were thinking, is that so in order to keep him quiet, they had to have him taken out.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So it was a paid job. They hired whoever to
Take
finish
care of
this. Yes. Whether it was an inmate, whether it was a prison guard.
Someone.
Yes. Looking at the autopsy report, the broken hyoid bone is possible with a hanging suicide, yet it's even more common with someone that's strangled.
Okay.
So being hung or hanging yourself, it's more than likely that bone's going to break.
Yeah.
But we see it more often with people that are, like, suffocated and strangled.
Okay. Which, then again, if someone was going to kill him, you can't poison him.
I know.
That's coming up on autopsy.
In autopsy, you're going to see that.
So someone has to go in. You can't kill him with a gun. Because then they're going to go, this man was murdered.
There's a big-ass bullet hole through his head, yeah.
So they had to go in and they had to have a way that he could have killed himself.
Make it look close enough like a suicide attempt.
Yeah, because you can't go in and be, like, bold in the head, because they're going to be like, we're looking for a murderer now.
Yeah.
So, like, you had to make it realistic.
Mm-hmm. What is believed to have happened is that a prisoner was able to sneak into Epstein's cell and strangle him to death.
Good.
Plus, with how his body was found, it had a strip of the bedsheet tied around his neck.
Okay.
And it was hanging from the bars of the top bunk. So it's like he tied it around his neck, and then it was tied to the top bunk.
My only thing is this man
was tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Because I'm like, so he would have had to, like, just forced himself to not stand on his feet and sit down with it.
Yeah. So Epstein was a big dude. He was over 6 foot tall, and he weighed 185 pounds. So being able to hang a 6-foot frame from the top of a bunk,
he would have had to, like, forcefully throw his ass to the floor.
It would have been super difficult to physically break your hyoid bone and hang yourself to death.
That just further proves that it wasn't a suicide.
Yeah.
Further proves it.
But mind you, nothing came up on the autopsy, but I'm like, unless you like drugged yourself before you did that, I don't think you physically would be able to do it having that 6-foot frame. Because the bed does not hang that high off of the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that I just want to be clear, he's not in a prison anymore. He's in a house of some kind?
No, he's in a prison in a cell. This is where the
But
cameras glitched outside of the thing. The prison guards were supposed to come check on him every 30 minutes. So he's not in, like, a general area. He's in, like, a special protected prison cell area.
But did he share his cell with anyone? He wasn't with the police officer?
He was originally, but then his cellmate or something got moved, so they didn't replace who was in there with him.
So coincidentally, he was alone.
He was by himself.
Cameras glitched.
Yes.
Guards didn't come check.
Yes.
And his death looks like a lot like a murder. Because
framed as a suicide.
Because you cannot, like you said, 6 foot. I think the guy was like 6'3" or 4".
He was over 6 feet.
Like, you just don't kill yourself when you stand taller than the bunk bed itself.
I know.
Come on.
Unless he, like, cannonballed off the top bunk. I don't know.
I would pay money to see
that. So, therefore, we think it was a prisoner that strangled him to death and then staged the fake suicide. So
we should look into that prison and see if any prisoners got released early. Because people in politics can get people
can
out.
get people to get out. Yeah.
Or they were, you were pardoned? Was anyone pardoned?
I don't think so.
We should look into
but I
that.
don't know.
You're like, oh, Jimmy was pardoned. Did you hear?
Way to go, Jimmy.
I need to look into this, not that you would know. Is this Maxwell girl still walking the streets? Is she in prison?
I think she did some time. I don't know if
She
she's
should.
still, but I don't know.
Because I'm sorry, she recruited him. She might
Mhm.
not have done the sexual act, but
Yep.
she recruited him.
But I mean, Donald Trump was in on a lot of it, and he's still out. So
Well, then there's also like the
Like,
Clintons
I know.
and what's his face? The handicapped man. He's dead. But
Yeah.
like you sit there and I'm like, you look at all these other politic people and celebrities.
Yeah,
Bring them in.
I know.
Bring them to justice. Make them rot in prison for it.
I know. But because they've got that celebrity status, they think they're untouchable.
No, we need to stop with the untouchable shit. If I, myself, some fucking commoner, have to rot in prison for doing something like that,
Everybody should.
they need to do the same. And don't give me 50 years and go 5 months house arrest. Maybe we'll make you wear an ankle monitor. No matter who the fuck you are, you need to be tried the exact same way. But they're like, they would be eaten alive in prison. Guess what? I don't give a shit. I'd be eaten alive in prison.
God,
Like,
I
it's
would,
just
I
not
would
fair.
be someone's bitch in like a second.
I
I'd be
would
like,
not
"Oh,
survive.
Please don't hurt me.
I'd be in tears. I'd be in tears. If I was told I was going to prison, I'd be in tears now. I just couldn't do it.
Have you seen that TikTok video of it's like a guy and he's like super, super flamboyantly gay? And he's like, am I gonna get pregnant? And she goes, well, you don't have a uterus, so I don't think. And she goes, well, is that guy gonna hurt me if I go sit by him? And she goes, nope, he's just fine. Like, that would be me in prison. I'd be like, please don't hurt me.
I'd be so worried. And mind you, I didn't watch the last 2 seasons because I finally just was like, the show wasn't doing it for me anymore because the storyline was gone. But Orange is the New Black.
Mhm.
I watched that. I'd be fucking dead. There's no way. And
I'd be taken advantage of so fast. I'd be like, I don't want to be anybody's friend.
and I don't swing the other way, so I'd be like, please don't make me do this. I'd be uncomfortable. I would just get the shit
just
kicked out of
peeing
me.
in the open. I think I would hold it in forever because the people just come stare at you. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't be for me.
I just remember when I first started watching. I think I was in college when I watched that show. For
I
the
watched
first
like
time.
the first 6 episodes, and I'm like, I can't do it.
It's a little upsetting to watch all the sex that's going on. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I had read the book, so I was like, let's watch this. And my friends were watching it, and they said it was so good. And mind you, the show itself, it does document how corrupt prison is.
Yeah, it really does perceive, like, I feel like what a common prison
Yeah.
looks like.
And so, like, the seasons 1 to, I think it was like season 5 or 6, where they take over the prison, that was the last good season.
Yeah,
But,
but then they were
like,
just coming up with storylines.
I would never make it. Like, when, I think her name was, like, Piper or Peter or something, she, like, went in on day 1, and she was like, I need a shower. I don't think there were curtains. And I'm like, can you imagine having to stand buck-ass naked?
I think there might have been curtains.
Were there? I don't remember. Or
But then people would come and just go
Yeah.
whoosh and whip them open, and I'd be like,
yeah, I would not make it. And
don't
then
look at me.
I don't know if you watched Further Enough, when she had to make shower sandals out of toilet paper?
Oh. No, she would do pads.
That's what it
It
was.
pads.
It's so gross. At that point, I'm like, maybe I'll just risk the athlete's foot.
Well, I don't really think everybody that feels they need to put like shower shoes on, I'm like, just raw dog it in there, man. Come on.
Depending on the shower, I think a prison shower might be scarier than like some of the gym showers.
Bro,
'cause-
prisons get better healthcare than most people get. Like,
isn't that sad?
if you get something, guess what? They're gonna fix it for you.
I'm like, oh, your foot itches a little bit. Let's have the nurse check you out.
We'll get you some cream.
Yeah, no, that show told me and showed me that I'd never make it. I'd be someone's bitch. I would suffer the entire time I'm there. I would try to kill myself, but my bitch would probably just revive me every time.
She'd be like, my baby's not dying today.
I just,
I'm gonna save you.
I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
Good show, but if you are not able to handle all the sex, I wouldn't watch it.
I mean, because there's like a sex scene in like every
Oh my
episode.
god. The first 2 seasons, I felt like they were just like, lesbian sex, put it, like there was sex every episode, multiple times this episode. By the last few seasons, I felt like it was never in there.
Okay.
And
It's like they might have like toned it down a little bit. They're like, all right, we get it.
yeah, I think people are, because I read the book a long time ago. I don't remember that much sex in the book. It was
So they
more,
might have hyped it up a little bit.
I think they were definitely just trying to be like,
Or
mind you,
they wanted to make some more story. And I'm sure when you're in
it's
a
probably
female
yeah.
prison, I'm sure there's a lot of female sex happening.
And I'm like, God, there were some times where I'd sit there and I'm like, where the fuck are the prison guards? This bitch has had sex 4 times this episode.
I know.
Like, what are we doing? Yeah, no.
That are the guards that have sex with the prisoners.
Oh my god, that happened in there. And
I
I know you
know.
won't finish the show because you didn't enjoy it. I want to say it was like season, might have been the end of 1 into 2. One of the prisoners got pregnant with a guard's baby.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw that.
And I'm like, honey, and I felt like the hard part is I felt bad because I think they truly loved each other. Because he was like a really nice guy. I'm like,
Did he get changed? Did he get put somewhere else?
I think he got fired. I don't think he got switched. I think they literally just fired him and he was done.
Okay.
And I don't think, I want to say the baby went to her family once she had the baby.
Would the baby have to be like a prisoner? Can you imagine
No.
putting a cute little baby prison guard? Oh, that'd be so cute.
Yeah, a little infant in a prison. So cute.
Your mommy's in prison, so are you.
It's just so sad. And I just remember watching that episode where she finally went into labor. And I don't even think she held her child because she goes, I'm going to be so. And she had like a long time left before she was getting out.
Okay.
She goes, I can't even hold it. Just take the child. Because she goes, it's just too upsetting.
Yeah.
I think she, because initially she's like, I can't even look at it. And then before they walked out, I want to say she did look at the child. But I'm like, I can't imagine. But this is why you don't have sex with fucking guards. Because you're going to get preggers.
Well,
Everyone in prison should
but
just get birth control.
I suppose if you aren't swinging as a lesbian, I guess you got to find it somewhere.
Yeah. I would never make it.
I'd just be like, find a big carrot from the lunch you ate.
Yeah, right?
Use that.
You want that, like, I will go to the little shit shop that your 2 pennies that you get that you can buy like ramen with.
I feel like they would have dildos for sale or something.
They've got to have something that you can borrow. Or maybe like your cellmates, because if you have like 5 cellmates, maybe you just share one.
Sick.
You all chip in.
It's the epitome of gross.
Clean it in your prison stall toilet. Like,
Gross.
like what else?
Okay, let's get back to this.
Sorry.
That was a very long rant. So we're looking at the fake suicide. So it could have been a case that the 2 guards who were in charge of checking up on Epstein were paid off to actually avoid the cell that whole shift while the prisoners went in and finished the deal.
Do we know how long they fell asleep for? Was it like hours?
It was like 3 hours time.
Okay, so it
So,
wasn't
they
like,
missed-
catnap.
They missed multiple checks, and then they went and checked like right before it was the end of their shift, and it was like, oh shit, man, we better go check. And then
We should like check their bank accounts. Was there like an installment made?
I have no clue.
Uh,
I mean, plus with the 2 cameras malfunctioning at the same time that night, it just creates a suspicious coincidence. Therefore, I mean, higher up people in that correctional institute would have had to have been in on this in order for all of that to have played out perfectly. For
But
the cameras to malfunction,
yeah.
for the cell to be unlocked, for the prisoners to not, or the prison guards to not go check. So, I mean, that's like a perfect
yeah.
trifecta.
Perfect storm. But I also sit there and I'm like, okay, I would assume it had to be an inside job. A prisoner was paid off to kill.
That would be my guess.
All the other cameras in this prison, you're telling me that one prisoner wasn't out somewhere where they weren't supposed to be? Like, you didn't catch them on any other camera?
I know.
Like, someone somewhere was seen and you are ignoring it.
Correct.
Because, like, I can't imagine a guard was paid to do it. Because I feel like a guard
Has too much on the line, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, a prisoner, what do they have to lose? They're already in prison.
Yeah.
I feel like a prisoner could be paid off for like, oh, we'll pardon you.
But
Lesser sentence.
if this was a hired job by someone in Epstein's high society circle, it wouldn't surprise me that they would have connections to people inside that institute.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Paying 'em
money
off.
money talks, especially when it's being offered to a person who's working a normal job with a small livable wage.
Yeah.
Because when you're a prison guard, yeah, you might be making like 60, 70. I guess
Yeah.
maybe in that area, maybe you're close to 6 figures, but I can't imagine.
I think the only people that are close to 6 figures are the wardens. Like the head
Yeah.
of the head.
And there's only a few of those for each prison. So
And you sit there and it's like, okay, they probably paid a warden off to like be like, shut your mouth.
brush it under the rug.
And we're gonna have
You
this
didn't
person
see
go in.
anything.
And they probably found the right prisoner to do it that hated him enough or didn't give a fuck.
Or that the prisoner already had a life sentence, so
Yeah.
what's he got to lose?
Yeah.
Oh, he don't care.
I'm assuming there were many people paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
It
looking the
wasn't
other way.
just one, yeah.
They'll paint the story. You just had to go with it.
Who do you think, or what do you think was the real cause of Jeffrey Epstein's death? Suicide, a body swap, or that he was murdered by other prisoners who were hired by a high society insider?
I 100% I'm with the murder.
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm with.
If you're high up, you can't afford to have that shit hit the fan. And the thing is, it's hitting the fan now. That's what I love.
Well, my thing's like, to these high up people in society, $1 million is nothing.
And
5 million, nothing.
that
That's pocket
manifesto,
change.
the manifesto that was dropped, I'm hoping. I don't have faith in our judicial system. I think that we fail people all the time. I'm hoping, though, that these people fucking get held accountable for the shit they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, Jeffrey Epstein fucked these people royally because he labeled everything like, oh, you're coming here to victimize someone. Oh, you're coming here just for fun as a friend.
Okay.
Like, he has it labeled and he has like dates and timestamps.
I would not have even associated with this dude.
No,
He's in some shady shit.
especially after the 2005.
I know.
Like, then it all comes out, hits the public. No way in fuck am I going to then come back out in 2008 or 9 when he's released after his 13 months and hang out with him until 2019. No.
Mm-mm.
Why would you risk it? Because it's going
I'd
to ruin
find
your
a
life.
different island to go to because it's not like they can't afford it.
There's millions of islands. Well, there's not millions, but there's a lot of islands that you can pick
Oh,
from.
there's millions of islands.
Are there really?
Yeah.
You think?
Yes.
It just seems like a lot.
There's millions of islands.
Really? I would say
Yeah.
thousands. Hundreds of thousands.
I think there's probably millions of islands.
Now I'm going to have to Google this fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just pick a different island and don't rape kids. It's just sick.
That's the call to action of this
Yeah.
podcast. Don't rape kids, all right?
Yeah.
Don't rape anybody.
Just,
all right?
just be kind.
Have consensual sex.
I tell my
please.
students all the time, kindness. Treat people with kindness.
Yet they still can't do it.
Unless they're sick fucks, then punch them in the junk and call the police.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast, leave a review, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Conspiracy Podcast 1, and remember to tune in for next week's episode, which will be posted on Wednesday. See you guys.